Hey everybody, Bill Shaka here. Welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. As I mentioned in the last few episodes, I am celebrating the release of a new course on public speaking. So I'm putting out quite a few 5-Minute Motivators specifically on public speaking. Now, the last two episodes, I talked about what do you do specifically to psych yourself up 5 minutes before the talk, then what do you do 5 minutes after the talk to kind of decompress and make sure you do a better job at the next talk. Well, what I would like to concentrate on today, as we begin to move a little bit into the self-confidence aspect of public speaking, is I'd like to talk about self-therapy and speaking in public, and what you could actually do to make sure that you coach yourself properly in terms of giving correct talks. More importantly, though, what could that information be worth to you in other areas of your life aside from public speaking? So we've got a couple things to work on here, and I've only got 4 minutes left. So let me begin. One of the first things that we need to understand as a professional public speaker, or even somebody who just simply likes to give talks, you need to focus on the future. And this becomes a really important point. If we focus on past events and past behaviors, when we weren't as good as what we are now in terms of being a public speaker, that can drag us back. Now, when we get to the section on meditation and public speaking, you're going to see that we always talk about the present, not the past, not the future. What I am talking about now is that you focus on the future primarily as kind of a mental trick to not concentrate on what went wrong in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, the past does not equal the future unless you allow it to. So really the choice is up to you. If you want to continue to live in the past, then don't expect to ever break out of that shell of being a mediocre public speaker. Okay, second thing I would do is we talked about nervousness a few episodes back. You have to replace nervousness. And my suggestion is you replace nervousness with happiness. Now, that's not as difficult to do as what you might think, because ultimately, one of the first overt signs of happiness is smiling. When you smile, you tend to be happier. So I would suggest that what you do initially is smile. Smiling creates happiness. Smiling and happiness dissipates nervousness. So that's another technique that I have for you that I would suggest you consider in terms of dissipating nervousness. Because nervousness could really upset a talk in general. Something that I like to call core belief equilibrium, CBE. I'd like you to think about this. Why the hell are you getting on stage anyway? Like, what is it about you that's making you want to be a public speaker? You need to answer that question, okay? You really need to answer that question. I mentioned in a few episodes ago, it's not about you, it's about the audience. Is it about you? Don't be afraid to answer. Is it about you? Do you love the accolades? Do you love the way to goes and the, wow, that was great? It's okay if you do. Feed your ego. Just don't let your ego get the best of you. So I would suggest that you really dig down into what your core beliefs are and why you want to be a public speaker. Now, finally, we'll talk about this in the bowels of the program itself, but many times you get up to give a talk and you have butterflies in your stomach. Translation, that's fear. What do you do with fear? Well, you do not get rid of fear. You leave it behind. Okay? And the reason you leave it behind, the why behind leaving fear behind, is because fear doesn't exist. Now, again, I have a specific lesson on fear of public speaking, but fear itself does not exist in any aspect of your life. There's no such thing as fear. All there is an absence of courage. So you need to replace fear with courage. How do you do that? Get the hell out on stage. That's how you do it. That's one of the best things you could do. So replacing fear with courage, the behaviors that emulate courage, are a tremendous way of making sure that fear doesn't get the best of you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you start these kind of self counseling techniques in public speaking, what you're going to find is it's going to assist you in other areas of your life also. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the link below. Look at my public speaking course. I have it drastically discounted. If you're listening to this particular episode, I have this discounted because you got the specific link for this episode on the 5-Minute Motivator for some reason. So look at the class. It's a great way to build self-confidence. It's a great way to increase your level of public speaking. The course is designed in 30 lessons. Each lesson is about 6 minutes. If you do one a day, it'll take you a month to get through it, and I guarantee you're going to have some fantastic ideas on how to be a better public speaker and how to increase self-confidence in your life. And I am over my 5 minutes. This is Bill Shaka, thanking you for listening to another episode of the 5-Minute Motivator. We'll see you on the other side.